hello. Oh, the camera's shaking. Welcome back to Story Time with Dog. Oh, and I got it back there too. Welcome back. And today we're going to be reading a book called 16 Words by William Carlos Williams and The Red Wheelbarrow by Lisa Rogers and Chuck Groenink. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. And this book is a picture book, but it does have words. Otherwise, I wouldn't be reading it. It would be hard to read the picture book. Of course, I could make up stuff for the pictures, but that's your job. Anyway, it's a picture book. Oh, well, hold on. Open this oh so simple picture book. I'm reading it from right there. And discover how William Carlos Williams turned the everyday things he saw outside the window into his greatest poem. Oh, that's nice. I like writing poetry too. Sometimes I'm just sitting there going, and I'm looking out the window. I was like, oh, I can write a poem about stuff. And it just follows into my head, and then he put it on the paper. Does that ever happen to you? Well, let's read this book together. Let's see what it's about. Alrighty, here we go. 16 words. I don't know what this book is really about, but I saw the cover. I was like, wow, that looks really interesting. And I think I should share it with you, because sometimes I just look at the cover and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I don't know what the book is about, but let's read it. 16 words. Try to fit the whole book in the camera here. Here we go. Okay, might have to go back and forth. All right, here we go. Look out the window. What do you see? If you are Dr. William Carlos Williams, you see a wheelbarrow, a drizzle of rain, chickens scratching in the damp earth. Perhaps Dr. Williams is waiting to read a thermometer. Maybe he has just written a prescription, or, if his young patient feels up to the game, shuffled a deck of playing cards. He looks up, looks out, and notices. The wheelbarrow belongs to Mr. Thaddeus Marshall. Dr. Williams is the Marshalls' family doctor. Day after day, Mr. Marshall picks up his tools, a watering can, a rake, a trowel. He cares for his garden at 11 Elm Street in Rutherford, New Jersey. Stepping around his chickens, he turns the soil, pulls weeds, and harvests greens. He plucks ripe vegetables and carries them to his wheelbarrow. Then he lifts the wheelbarrow's handles and balances it on its single tire. His son Milton shoos the chickens away. And Mr. Marshall pushes his wheelbarrow through the streets of Rutherford. He depends on the wheelbarrow to carry the vegetables he sells to his neighbors. Oh. Day after day, Dr. Williams also picks up his tools: a stethoscope, syringes, a blood pressure cuff, a thermometer, and more. He packs his black doctor's bag and lifts it by its two handles. He cares for patients in his office at 9 Ridge Road. He cares for patients at their homes. He bandages wounds, checks temperatures, and listens to heartbeats. He treats children with measles and chicken pox. He brings many babies, at least 3,000, into this world. Wow, that's a lot of babies. Whew. Dr. Williams depends on his doctor's bag to carry the tools he needs. Along with his stethoscope and syringes, he carries a pen for writing prescriptions, a pen for crafting poems. Writing poems brings Dr. Williams joy, me too. And he fits in his writing around his doctoring. If he's in his office, he uses the time between appointments to tap on his typewriter. He writes about trees, a fire engine, cats, and plums. Oh, I love plums. I want to get some plums. He chooses the words for his poetry as carefully as he examines his patients. That's very important. Words are very important. If he's making a house call, he scribbles poems on his prescription pad. I like this neighborhood. It's very nice. Everybody's walking along. Doo, 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 doo. He writes about his town and the people who live there. Looks like he sees something in the tree. Dr. Williams visits 11 Elm, where Mr. Marshall and his wife Alice raise their sons, Milton, Hiram, Victor, Leon, and Thaddeus Jr. Perhaps he is there to set a broken arm or to soothe a high fever. Perhaps he is caring for Mr. Marshall, who has been ill. Oh, no. Dr. Williams pauses. He looks out the bedroom window toward the garden. He sees rain falling. It falls on the chickens scrambling in the dirt, their feathers dingy white. It falls on Mr. Marshall's wheelbarrow, red and weathered, sturdy and strong. The rain streaks the window, soaks the garden, drips into the roots of Mr. Marshall's vegetable plants, helping them grow. Dr. Williams grasps his pen. He begins to write. He writes of what he notices: the wheelbarrow, the chickens, the rain, the yard. He writes a poem using just 16 words. Those 16 words do not describe Mr. Marshall's chicken coop or the train rattling nearby. They do not describe Mr. Marshall's hefting that wheelbarrow or the aches and pains he suffers from stooping to care for his plants. They do not describe Mr. Marshall's life of work or caring or love. But somehow they say just that. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rain water beside the white chickens. And that's the end. And there's the author's note if you'd like to pause and read it. I'll bring it a little closer so I can read it. There you go. And right here are some other poems that you can enjoy. You have to look them up on the internet, baby. Well, I really like that book. It's like a book describing a poem that he wrote. It's very unique. I've never read something like that before. Now this makes sense. William Carlos Williams and the Red Wheelbarrow, because that's the name of the poem. I didn't get that before. I was a little confused by all that, but Now I understand. That is a wonderful book. And I really like the artistry too. It looks like it was done with pencils, like colored pencils. Very nice. Very, very relaxing book too. You could almost feel the rain. You could almost touch the wheelbarrow and feel it. You can almost hear the rain hitting it. You know how like the rain when it hits metal. Tink, 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 tink. You could almost hear the chickens clucking. I like that. Well, thank you for coming and reading this book with me. That was really nice. And I'll see you next time at the next story on Storytime with Dog. Bye bye.